This is League on Lock. That's Mark and I am Eric. The LCK rumors are not rumors anymore. Faker is not a free agent. He's re-signing with SKT, Mark. Everyone can take a deep breath, although it would have been fun to see him in free agency.
It would have been really exciting to see him land in a couple of different opportunities for him. But I think right now, SKT, that's always going to be home for Faker, and he's staying there right now, trying to bring this team back up from the ashes.
Yeah, it came from the most official of tweets from the SKT T1 Twitter page. Hello, this is SKT T1. Shocking that
I
from their own Twitter.
I would really hope it's SKT T1 coming from that Twitter account, but anyways.
So Faker's re-signing, as well as Effort and Leo, which were the only 3 players that they kept on from their 10-man roster in 2018. No surprise here. This was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the priority list for SKT heading into the offseason. They avoid disaster and hold on to Faker.
Oh yeah, they don't even mess around here. This is like an hour 30 into free agency. You're getting the announcement. Don't worry, no panic buttons needed. Faker is staying here with SKT. Everything good there. And I think when you also look at keeping Effort and Leo, I think those can't go under the radar here, but it's important to remember that Effort has shown us some good potential as a support, but we have seen him get maybe a little bit carried away at times, too aggressive sometimes in that bot lane. Need to see that maybe change a little bit more with some practice and some veteran exposure. And I think that also keeping Leo is going to be an interesting call there, as we haven't seen too much of him, but there's obviously enough there that they like to certainly invest more in that potential.
Hard to know if they'll actually be starters going forward, but we got a lot of LCK news to rip through, starting with Flash Wolves' MOOJIN. We thought maybe he'd go to SKT. Turns out he's signing with HANWHA Life.
Ooh, interesting move there. Good pickup, though, for HANWHA Life. Seems to be a lot
Big upgrade
that MOOJIN can definitely do for that team.
Excited to see him perform on the LCK, but he's not going to SKT. KT ROLSTER, we thought, how many players will they actually keep for 2019? So far, it's down to 2. Pawn, DEFT, UCAL, and Rush are all gone from that roster. Maybe Rush gets a starting spot somewhere.
Oh, my boy, Rush, he's out of there. And not only is Rush out of there, you got DEFT, the Alpaca, leaving. It's all over there for KT ROLSTER with that roster. All you got there is obviously Smeb, the star player there for you in the top lane. And it seems like Score is sticking around, either to play one more year with KT ROLSTER, but he could also be going to military. We're not entirely sure there, but he hasn't left that roster, so hold on to those 2 if you can, KT.
Losing UCAL is a big blunder for me, for KT. You should have done all you could to keep him. Afrika losing some starters as well. Kramer, Tucson, so the bottom lane, and Kuro are all out, as well as the coaching staff. Kuro maybe heading to KT if UCAL's gone.
Certainly an option for him, and I think that the coaching staff is going to be a big one that people are going to overlook as far as Afrika Freaks missing them. Yes, they did get those strange punishment bans during Worlds for toxicity in solo queue, but other than that, I think they deserve...
Who hasn't gotten those?
Yeah, they still deserve a lot of credit for the success that the Afrika Freaks were able to reach this year.
Jin Air is going to be looking like a very different roster in 2019, and probably different for the worse. Teddy is gone just so we can go to SKT, because since Bang is no longer with SKT, you can basically lock it up that Teddy is going to be heading over there. They also, Cacao, you probably forgot he was on Jin Air, and so on, also not returning to Jin Air in 2019. Who knows what that roster is going to look like, but SKT Teddy still sounds pretty good.
Oh, that still makes me very excited to think about the likes of Teddy on SKT. Watching Jin Air, always hoping to see that Glad playing JPG. Wouldn't see it too often, but anytime you did, you know your boy Teddy had a big helping hand in making sure that that happened.
Yeah, he was single-handedly ensuring that a couple of those popped up every year. Let's go over to the LPL, where the drama's over. Mr. Uzi is not retiring. Along with Karsa and Ming, they all re-signed with RNG going forward. Kind of shorter contracts. Uzi isn't even through 2019, but you got to imagine that that's just the initial impression. They'll be negotiating more, but he's not retiring just yet. And why would he? He was the best player for most of 2018.
Absolutely no reason for Mr. Uzi to retire. Another kick at the can next year for him. And hey, he's got his right-hand man, Ming, staying with him. A lot of rumors that maybe he was going to be leaving here. But hey, you play something like 150-plus games beside Mr. Uzi. Man. I hope you're staying alongside for next year's ride, too.
Don't even play any games going forward, Ming. And then finally, Knight is going to TOPSPORTS. If you don't know who Knight is, he is a young prodigy in the mid lane. He didn't get any playing time in the summer split, which was kind of upsetting for a lot of people, but he has been dominating solo queue, almost always hovering around that top spot on the Korean ladder, and he will have one of the most anticipated splits here in 2019. You might not know him now, but come the middle of the season, you'll definitely be hearing about him.
Yeah, keep an eye on Knight's performances because Top Gaming, they certainly are getting a good, strong player in that signing.
And, I mean, that's good for them. For a team that struggled mightily in spring, bounced back in summer. They had Marin. That didn't work out, but they look like they have a very different roster for 2019, and excited to see how Knight can play getting some consistent games on the Rift.
Hey, if he can take down Mr. Uzi, that would certainly be pretty darn awesome.
That is the dream start, but that's all the time today for League Unlocked. Plenty of more roster news in the coming days, and Mark and I will be here to break it all down for you. See you guys next time.